So May Day reached its peak in Europe. When?
When? Let's see.
During the Middle Ages.
Yeah, that's right, in the Middle Ages.
In the Middle Ages, it was very, very popular. And they continued to celebrate it with great gusto up until the Puritans.
In 1750, I think.
1650.
1650.
Oliver Cromwell and the Puritans said, no more May Day because there was too much goofy stuff going on. But how long did that last?
10 years. 10 years.
They said, we want our May Day back. As soon as those people were out of power, they brought May Day back and all of its many celebrations.
All right. Well, then they had the going a-Maying and bringing in the May. This is exciting.
Yes, this was all about decorating and getting ready for May Day.
See, going out to the forest and picking a lot of flowers.
Right. Sometimes bringing in the May was a tradition where you would get up before dawn, you would wash your hands and face in the dew because that would encourage beauty. John doesn't really need any additional beauty, but and collect flowers and greenery to make into wreaths and garlands. So, like, see, we put our garlands up here on the tree, and we have our flowers. Now, going a-Maying was a little more controversial.
Yes, it was.
Because they would go out, and this was really a holiday that was really celebrated by maybe teenagers, young people who weren't married but were fully grown.
Yeah.
And they would go out into the woods the night before May Day to collect the flowers and the greenery.
And they'd stay all night.
They'd stay all night.
Oh.
And there was things that went on out there in the woods.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And they come back with the flowers and the garlands and decorate in the next morning.
Right.
A little happier than they had been the night before.
That's right.
Well, this was one of the reasons the Puritans really did not like May Day, was this going a-Maying thing.
Then there was the thing about the May Queen. I really like that one.
Now, the May Queen is really the most important and oldest tradition that goes with May Day. And so she is the personification of May Day, of springtime and the coming of summer. So she sort of leads the parade, if there's a May parade, and she's elected by the villagers, and each village has its own May Queen.
That's right.
And it's considered a great honor.
It sounds like a pageant.
Well, it does, you know.
Wow.
And it's believed that the Queen of May awakens the springtime to fight off the Queen of Winter. We have to fight her off.
Right.
So the May Queen is dressed in a white dress to symbolize purity. She has a crown with flowers. And
In fact,
what has happened?
The what?
What happened this year? I got elected.
Yeah, we have our own Woodstock May Queen.
I am, yes, because there was 2 people voting.
Yes.
And I got 2 votes.
You got 2 votes?
I got 2 votes, so I get to be the May Queen this year with my flowers and my nice white dress, which is sort of an authentic May Queen dress.
Oh.
So sometimes there was a May King, too. And he was usually dressed in green. John is not the May King.
Not the May
because
King.
he has another thing going on.
I have another outfit.
Yeah, it was really popular, and they had a lot of names. Father May, King of the May King, Garland King, Green Man, Jack in the Green. These were all things for the May King who accompanied the May Queen.
Right.
But the Queen was the most important.
Oh, of course.
Always the most important to the Queen. And then in Elizabethan times, Robin Hood became popular, so the May King and Queen were kind of referred to like Robin Hood and Maid Marian.
Right.
So they let it, kind of have fun. So here's a poem. In Victorian times, Tennyson wrote the poem, The May Queen, which begins, "You must wake and call me early. Call me early, mother dear. Tomorrow will be the happiest time of all the glad new year. Of all the glad new year, mother, the maddest, merriest day. For I'm to be the Queen of the May. Mother, I'm to be the queen of the May.
Beautiful poem.
Isn't that something?
Oh.
Well, it goes on and on and on about
Yeah.
all the things associated
Yeah.
with being the May Queen. And so, you know, as they often did,
Mm-hmm.
the Roman Catholics sort of tried to co-opt the May Queen. And they said that the Virgin Mary was the May Queen.
Yeah.
But the villagers never really bought it. They all had their own May Queen.
Right.
And it really is like a beauty pageant in a way.
Yeah, yeah, just like we were saying.
What about like South Haven?
Yeah, yeah, they have their blueberry queen.
Yes. Or, you know, different places have like a pork queen or corn
Right.
queen or whatever,
Right.
where the people in the town elect them. Remember in South Haven they had Little Miss Blueberry?
Yeah.
And there were signs all over town you were supposed to vote for one of them.
Right.
They had the pictures up.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that it reminds me of is like prom queen,
Yes.
because you wear a special dress
Yes.
and you have your special, you know, everybody voted for you.
That's right.
And it's the big pageant. So it's a great honor to be May Queen. And
Yeah.
I thank you all very much.
You're very welcome.
So another really important tradition is
The maypole.
the Maypole.
That's one I really remember because I grew up with a maypole. We'd have a maypole celebration over at a special club. We called it the Mother's Club. And I just remember the whole picture of going around the maypole.
And what did you do around the Maypole?
Oh, I think it was all the girls of the group. They would take these ribbons and they'd make little dances around and weave the ribbons together on the maypole. And then they'd weave them out. It's just a beautiful experience.
See, by your time it had already turned into just little girls, right? Where
Right.
back in the day it was young men and women that did this.
Sounds a better situation.
Yeah, why leave the men out? Why leave the adults out?
Yeah,
Why
give us a word.
Yeah, let's have a little fun, right? So we have our own Maypole.
Yeah.
The Maypole goes back to like 1300s. Each little village had its own Maypole. Although in a place like London, where it was big and they had money, they would erect a permanent Maypole.
Oh.
And it was really very important. And some people say, because these poor people had no land, they'd go into the forest and cut down a pole for the Maypole. And it was their way of sort of establishing their rights
Their rights.
to go on land that they didn't actually own. And nobody ever bothered them about it. So we're going to do a little Maypole dancing, but we're going to do it later. We're going to
Right.
get through the traditions here. We have our Maypole, and we're going to do a little dancing. Even though we're not young, we're not children, and John's and me, we're still going to do it because we are rebels, right?
Right.
Rebels.
Right. Rebels all the way.
All right, now this is not an English tradition, but it was so good we couldn't resist. It's called the May Bush. So instead of having a Maypole, the Irish people had a May Bush.
Okay.
And it was not usually a bush, it was really like a tree, and they would decorate it like this with flowers and actually even ribbons, like we have, and then
Right.
candles,
Oh, candles.
like a Christmas tree. They just went out, took a tree, and they decorated it. So it's kind of like a Christmas tree. I'm losing my crown. It's very windy.
All right.
Okay, and they felt this May bush, like our May bush here, would protect them from the fairies. Now that sounds a little funny to us.
Yeah. Fairies seem to be really.
This sounds really funny to us, you know, because we think of fairies as being kind of fun and cute, but I think they had a different idea of what a fairy was.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we would need protection from fairies today. And so again, the Irish would dance around not the Maypole, because they didn't go cut down a tree, it was a live tree, and they would dance around the May bush.
Okay.
Now here's where John comes in.
Right. Here's
Okay,
where I come in.
another great May Day tradition that I never heard of until we started watching Father Brown.
Right.
Remember that? They had it on
They
Father
had it
Brown.
on Father Brown.
Morris dancing. Morris dancing. And no real English May Day celebration would be complete without Morris dancing. And it goes back to the Middle Ages. They don't know exactly when it started, but it was a form of entertainment. And they dressed in costumes.
Like this one.
And there was music from pipes and tambourines or fiddles or whatever, and sometimes drums. And Morris dancing costumes vary from place to place, but the most prevalent or popular Morris dancing costume is what John is wearing. So you have a white suit with red sashes, and you have bells and ribbons and a handkerchief and this marvelous flowered straw hat.
Don't I
Whoops,
look good
I'm
there?
losing my crown again. Yeah, so then he does a dance.
I'll
Morris
be doing
dancing.
that dance a little later, and you'll have
John
to
is
check into
going
that.
to do a Morris dance, and you're just going to be awed. And so by the 1800s, the Morris dancing had started to die out. It's something that just the men do.
Yes.
You know, of course, the women try to get in there nowadays, but it's just the men's group. And they have little clubs, like square dancing clubs. It's very
Right.
similar to square dancing clubs. And so what happened was when the internet got invented, Morris dancing really took off
Just took
again.
off all over the place.
So
how many
there's-
how many groups are there?
Well, there's thousands of groups in England, but there's 150 here in the United
150
States.
groups. Maybe we can start one here in Woodstock.
And they call them jingles.
Jingles. Huh?
Yeah, little groups instead of like square dancing club, they're Morris dancing jingles, and they take it very seriously. So John will be doing a Morris dance a
Right.
little later.
Yeah.
Now in America, you know, Morris dancing never really took off. Maypoles never really took off either. But what they did do was have May baskets.
May
So
baskets.
my May baskets are, there's a couple different kinds of May baskets. Here's the kind that I grew up with, where you weave together construction paper and you put flowers and candy and stuff like that in it. And we did that in grade school. Then there was this other kind. It really is kind of intricate. Then there was this other kind that was just simple. It's like a cone. And this kind, I have this very vivid memory of one of my teachers getting super animated because she had found wallpaper samples.
Oh.
And
yeah.
she had those available for us to make with our May baskets. Now, a real May basket, the real tradition was that you would go to somebody's house and hang this on their doorknob, ring the bell, and then run. Now, if it was like a boy-girl thing, you might try to chase, you would chase the person
Who put the
who
basket?
put the basket out there, and you might try to kiss them.
Kiss it.
So anyway, but you know, girls would do with girls. They wouldn't kiss them, but they'd grab them. And I remember one time, we didn't do that. We just made the baskets at school and took them home. But one of my little friends did that for me. She hung the basket on the door, rang the bell, or we didn't have a bell, knocked on the door. And there was a lot of excitement. Everyone was saying, run, run, run and catch Sherry. And I didn't know what was going on.
No.
I'm looking around, they got this basket. I said, where is she? Where is she? And she's like out there waving her hands like I'm supposed to chase her. I had no idea what was going on.